Hello guys, hello grade 11s, welcome back to another video. So on today's video we'll be doing the business studies common test for March 2023 grade 11, and this is from the KwaZulu-Natal province. So this question paper was downloaded from the Stanmore Physics website. Now without wasting any more of your time, let's get right into it. The first page, we have 100 marks and time is 1.5 hours. And on the second page, we have instructions and information. Read the following instructions carefully before answering the question. So this question paper consists of 3 questions. Section A is compulsory. Question B consists of 3 questions. Answer any 2. So in question B, you're going to be given 3 questions, but you only answer 2 of the 3 questions. And then in question C, you'll be given 2 questions, which is an essay question, but you answer only 1. Read the instructions for each question carefully and take particular note of what is required. So number the answers correctly according to the numbering system used in this question paper. No marks will be awarded for answers that are numbered incorrectly, except where other instructions are given. Answers must be in full sentences. Use the mark allocation and nature of each question to determine the length and depth of an answer. Use the table below as a guide for marks and time allocation when answering questions. So for section A, you are required to take 20 minutes, and then for section B, 20 minutes also for each question, and then for question C, you are required to take 30 minutes so that you can be done in an hour. So question number 7 says begin the answer to each question on a new page. So question 1 will have its own page, question 2 its own page, 3 its own page. In section B, remember you only have to answer 2 of the 3 questions, so every question should be on a new page. You may use a non-programmable calculator if there are any calculations, and write neatly and legibly. So for this video not to take a long time, I will show the memo on the right hand side and the question paper on the left hand side. So as we do the question, we will be looking at the memo so that the question does not take too long. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're enjoying the question. So you can pause this question, answer these questions, and then come look at the memo. So number 1.1 says intermediaries are one of the components of what environment? So what intermediaries are the component of which environment? We have micro, macro, and market. So intermediaries are part of the market environment. They are the link between businesses and individuals. When a business buys another business at an agreed price, this is called an acquisition. So when we buy another business, it's an acquisition. Merger is when 2 businesses come together to become one. That is a merger. Alliance is when 2 businesses become each other's partners. In a way, they're just strategic alliance. They just formed a relationship in order to strengthen their bonds. Or sometimes, like an ice cream company may form a alliance with a coffee company, so that the customers who buy the coffee there can also buy ice cream from the other. Yeah, that's how alliances are. Takeovers is when a company takes over another company. Okay, so here, when a business buys another business at an agreed price, it is called an acquisition. The of a company represent the characteristics of the population, such as gender, race, and so on. So that is the demographics. Then 1.1.4 says the business practice of hiring a party outside a company to perform services that were traditionally performed in-house by the company's staff is known as outsourcing. And then 1.1. Outsourcing is I am a party planner, and I decided not to do deco. I just hire another company to do deco for me, and then I pay them. though I am hired for a certain party, but I decide I'm not going to do deco. I'll get someone to take care of it for me. But yeah, so 1.1.5 is the company provides essential service such as water and electricity at reasonable price that is state owned. The government is the one, the state owned companies are the one that provide electricity, as we know, ESCOM. So 1.2 says complete the following statements by using the words in the list below. Write only the words next to the question number. So we have micro, deflation, go slow, macro, strike, goodwill, private company, royalties, inflation, and public company. So change in income level is a challenge of macro environment. So the general increase in prices of goods and services in a country is known as inflation. So a is usually the result of labor disputes, and it takes place when employees refuse to work a strike. So 1.4, payments made to the franchisor by the franchisee based on the turnover of the business is known as royalties. So a is a company that is registered to offer its stock and shares to the general public. That is a public company. Now we are in section B, and we are going to start with question 2. So 2.1 says outline any 4 challenges of the market environment. So the market environment, its challenges, its competitors, shortage of supply, change in consumer behavior, demographics and psychographics, and social cultural factors. So you only have to mention 4. I am going to link videos that I have done for grade 11 business studies in the description box down below, so you can check those out if you were not you were not present during the lesson, or the teacher was just not able to explain it for you, or you just want to refresh yourself. So 2.2 says read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Now with business studies, you should be able to read scenarios and answer questions, because that is required a whole lot from you guys. Let's read the scenario. Primrose Traders. The manager of Primrose Traders lacked the necessary skills required to resolve a dispute between the business and its supplier. This resulted in its competitors taking its customers away. So the manager of Primrose Traders lacked the necessary skills required to resolve a dispute between the business and its suppliers. That is a challenge of the microenvironment. So lack of necessary skills. So this resulted in its competitors taking advantage of the issue and attracting its customers away. That is another challenge which is in the market environment. We talk about customers. So lack of skills is internal, is micro, and then them taking their customers. It is a market challenge. So there is how you have the answer to 2.2, and then 2.2.1 and 2.2.2. So now we're going to focus on 2.3. Code 2 suggest ways in which businesses can be involved in the macro environment. Remember, the macro environment is the external environment. The business has no control but can influence. So how can they influence? How can they be involved in international environment, technological environment, legislative environment, and so forth? They can create new uses for a product by finding new customers, influence regulators through lobbying and bargaining, initiating bargaining sessions between management and unions, influencing its owners using information obtained in annual reports, negotiating strategic alliance agreement through contractual processes, and knowing government regulations and operations within them. So this is any other relevant answer as well. This is how you suggest ways in which businesses can be involved in the macro environment. And then 2.4, so it's 4 marks. You need 2 full sentences, and each sentence will award you 2 marks. So explain ways in which businesses can form power relationships. Power relationships. How can two businesses form power relationships? That is through strategic alliance or partnership agreements. Businesses form partnership agreements in order to benefit each other's involvement. So if a bigger business partner with a smaller business, or two big businesses partner together, they form a formidable they form a strong bond. Okay, so that is a strategic alliance. This partnership alliance help parties involved to benefit in infrastructure development and scarce skills. They can also do that by persuasion of large investors. If a business has a powerful investor, the business can often benefit from the relationship so that it can gain credit more easily and better deals from suppliers. Another thing is that company representative influence. This representative fulfills an important function in trying to persuade investors to invest in a particular business practice. People will make decisions based on the company's image, personality, communication styles, and power of persuasion. So businesses can form strong relationship by company representatives' influence. So if you've hired a CEO that has so much influence, that can be a boost for the business. So that is company representatives influence. Or the board of directors are very influential people. Or persuasion of large investors, getting large investors to invest in the business. Or strategic alliance and partnership agreements. So let's go to number 3. So for number 2, that was business environments. And then question 3, we have business ventures. So just check, do you know business environments or business ventures? Then you will know which question to answer. So here 3.1 says outline aspects that must be included in a prospectus. A prospectus is a document in which a company compiles in order for you to know it. Okay, more information about it. So in a prospectus, you will have the company. So you just have to outline aspects. It's 4, so you just need 4 aspects: the company name, product or service portfolio, market analysis and strategy, management team, the risk and potential of the business, availability of financial and share information, the company's assets and liabilities, financial position, profit and losses, cash flow, prospects of growth, share capital, share issued, property owned, preliminary expenses, executive summary. You see, those are all the things that are required in a company's prospectus. So 3.2 says, read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. BR Aluminium Pty Ltd. BR Aluminium is a private company that specializes in the manufacturing of aluminium doors and windows. BRA made sure to include Pty Ltd at the end of their name. They chose a name that is original and not misleading. The company's name also appears on all company documents. Quote 2 legal requirements of the name of the company from the scenario below. So what are the requirements when you do a name for a company? So you quote 2 legal requirements. So of the name of the company from the scenario above. So BRA made sure to include Pty at the end of their name to show that this is a private company. They chose a name that is original and not misleading. The company name also appears on all company documents. So explain other legal requirements of the name of the company. What are other legal requirements for the name of the company? Reserving a name for a company is the first step to register a company, but it is not compulsory. Business names can be reserved for a period of 6 months by CIPC. The name of a company is subject to approval by CIPC. The name must not be similar or same as other company unless it is part of a group. The name must not imply, suggest, mislead a person to believe that the company is part of another person, business, the state. The name must not be offensive, promote violence, hatred, and cause any harm. The name must not be shortened or translated. A company is not allowed to use misleading name. The name reservation is valid for 6 months. So those are other requirements. And then 3.3. So you're going to explain 6 requirements into 3 requirements for 6 months. 6 marks for 2.3.3. For 3.2.2, sorry. And then 3.3, discuss the impact of outsourcing for a business. So outsourcing is taking using other people to do a service that you can do, but you decide to use other person to save maybe time. So if they say impact, it can either be a positive or a negative impact. So if they say impact, you can choose to write the advantages of outsourcing or the disadvantages. But if they had said negative, you would write the disadvantages of outsourcing. Or if they had said positive, you would have written the advantages of outsourcing. So here, when the impact of outsourcing for a business, the advantages are that a business has access to resources and equipment for a specific function. Production team is often shortened and quality is often improved because specialists are performing the function for the business. And those are all the advantages. And the disadvantages is that risks of losing sensible data and the loss of confidentiality. When someone does your work for you, there is no confidentiality. Okay, risks such as bankruptcy and financial loss cannot be controlled. Lack of organizational learning and innovative capacity, and managing the outsourcing provider could be more difficult than managing the employees of the business. So that is the end of question 3. And then we have miscellaneous topics. So in miscellaneous topics, we have a combination of business environments and business ventures. So if you know that you know business environments a lot, you must do number 2 and number 4, because number 4 is a combination of both. So don't do question 3. But if you know business ventures a lot, do question 4 and question 3 and question 4. Okay. Yes, so miscellaneous is a mix. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follows. That's 4.1. Left-tone manufacturer produces a variety of fruit juices. The supplier Tropical Farm provides LM with the variety of fruits required for the production. So use the table below as a guide to answer question 4.1.1 that follows. So for question 4.1.1 says, identify 2 business sectors from the scenario above. Motivate your answer. There is the secondary, where is the LM manufactures a variety of fruit juices, and then the primary, where they have their supplier. Yes, we have motivated. So when they say motivation, you quote the scenario that has been given to you. You don't come up with your own things. 4.2 says, explain the benefits of social responsibility projects for businesses. When a business engages in social responsibility, what benefit or gain will it get? A social responsibility project is when a business fix a road, like maybe a certain store in your community, fix the road that has potholes, or give out tenders, bursaries. How will that impact benefit the business? Increase employees' morale and job satisfaction when they're involved in social responsibility program. So the CSI helps to attract investors because of increased profits and income. Promotes consumer loyalty, resulting in more sales. May attract experienced employees, increase the pool of skilled labor, which could increase productivity. A business may have a competitive advantage, resulting in good publicity, which is an improved reputation. And then for 4.3 business ventures, explain the challenges to establish a company versus other forms of ownership. So you're going to compare a company versus other forms of ownership. So the owner of a company have more liability. The owners of the company have more liability. Directors might not have a personal stake in the company. So directors may not have a personal interest in the business, and this could prevent the business from gaining maximum growth or profits. So there may be conflict between the owners of the company and management in control. So you explain the challenges of establishing companies. So this is a challenge with establishing companies. So you tell all the challenges of starting a company. A company can stop existing if deregistered by the registrar of companies. A large amount of money of funds is spent on financial audits and accounting fees due to government regulations. So that's a company has so much things to do. Advise entrepreneurs on the procedure for the formation of companies. So you determine the people establishing the company. You reserve a company name with the register of companies. You prepare a memorandum of incorporation. Open a bank account and register for taxation. File a notice of incorporation and obtain a unique registration number. Obtain a unique registration number. All companies must be registered with the registrar of companies. So that is the everything there. So for section C, it says there are essay type questions, so you are only allowed to answer one out of the two. You can use between business environments and business ventures. So what you know the most, stick to that. Socioeconomic issues often pose a challenge to many businesses. Strikes tend to impact negatively on business operation. Piracy is a social economic issue that is prevalent in many countries. Piracy often affects many businesses negatively. So here we're talking about socioeconomic issues. So you go in your introduction, you explain what is socioeconomic issues for 2 marks. You will get your marks, okay? Or talk about any socioeconomic issue. Contemporary socioeconomic issues here in the memo often decrease a business sales and profits. Yes. Ethical misconduct can be defined as any behavior or by employees of the business that is not consistent with the value of the business. Piracy is the unauthorized use, reproduction of another person's original work. So that statement that you are used, socioeconomic issue often poses a challenge to many business. You can either talk about socioeconomic issues, you can talk about challenges that businesses have because of socioeconomic issues, because there are challenges to many businesses. Strikes tend to impact negatively on businesses. You can talk about strikes. You can define strike, or you can talk about piracy in the introduction. You see? And then on the body, that's what you do in the introduction. In the body, it says outline the functions of trade unions. So you just write all the functions of trade union. A trade union protects workers. A trade union influence government decisions. So they represent employees corporately and individually. They improve material benefit of the members, establish minimum economic and legal conditions influencing economic policy and law. They protecting workers from unfair labor practice and unfair dismissal. Any other relevant answer? So another, explain the impact of strikes on businesses. How does a strike impact a business? So it can be, you can choose negative or positive impacts, or you can write both. And then you discuss the following: solutions to piracy, copyright. Businesses can use someone who infringes the copyright, can sue someone who infringes the copyright. They can also sue someone who sells or distributes works that he or she knew were infringement of copyright. And then patent prevents owner business people not to produce and sell the same product or specific service. And then trademark, businesses can trademarks to identify themselves and their product. So advise businesses on the negative impact of piracy on the business. How does copying someone's work impact the business negatively? They will lose money and all that, and people will not even know the original from the fake. In most instances, there's still people who don't know how much Louis Vuitton is. Yeah, because there's so much fake out there. So conclusion, you state a fact about socioeconomic issues. So businesses should be able to identify the socioeconomic issue that affect their business and come up with solutions for these issues, or a business code of conduct should make provision for the consequence of social harassment in the workplace. Now, yeah, that is how you'll be marked. Layout, analysis and interpretation, synthesis and originality. Giving examples, we give you 2 marks. So that's how you earn your 8 marks, and 32 is from the content. And then we're going to question 6. You have to read that box. Some entrepreneurs prefer to purchase an existing business where they also sign contracts depending on the type of business avenue they prefer buying. So some entrepreneurs prefer to purchase an existing business rather than starting their own, where they also sign contracts depending on the type of business avenue they prefer buying. So franchising and leasing are other opportunities available for entrepreneurs to consider. Prospective business owners should also be aware of the contractual implication of each business avenue. So you can talk about entrepreneurs who buy existing businesses. You can also talk about franchises in your introduction. Okay, you can even talk why other entrepreneurs prefer buying existing than starting their own. And then the next part is write an essay on the avenue of acquiring business, in which you discuss the following aspects. So you outline the advantage of franchising. So you're going to talk about all the advantages of franchising. Franchises, like KFC is a franchise. So you can decide to open KFC in your area, in your small town if it's not there. So what will be the benefits of opening a business that already has been marketed by someone? It's already existing, it's a trusted name and all that. I've already given you some points. So explain 5 reasons for purchasing an existing business. So why would someone purchase a business that is already existing? Because it's easier to raise funds. We call them going concerns. You're buying a business that is already operating in its existence. That is a going concern. Market research has already been done, and there is an established customer base. Many business problems have already been solved. So those are one of the advantages. You can read that. So those are the 5 reasons of purchasing an existing business. And then the disadvantages of leasing. Leasing is renting out. What is the advantage of leasing, of getting a lease? The lessee does not own the asset. The lessor has control over the financial obligation of the lessee. Some leases require the lessee to maintain and repair the asset. You see, those are the disadvantages. Advise the business on the contractual implications of leasing. So the lease agreement will indicate whether the lessee becomes the owner of the asset after the lease period for a fee or not. The following details must be stated on the lease agreement: names of the parties entering the lease, duration period of the lease, detailed description of what is being leased, conditions of renewal, the monthly amount payable, any conditions such as deposits, insurance, and security. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys very much for watching. Until the next one.